Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. It is time for us to be bold, but of course not rude in this day and age because people are getting so emboldened to tell you the things wrong. And of course, the Bible talks about that. Wrong will be considered good, bad will be considered good, and good will be considered bad. But today I had someone walk up to me and they were telling me about God the Mother. And this has happened to me before. And that's why it's so important for us to read our word for ourselves, get to know who God is for yourself. So when someone comes to you with confusion, you don't allow it to take you off the path that you know that the Lord has called you to. And this happened to me earlier in my life when I say early in my life, but earlier when I started walking with Christ, there was someone who came up to me and was basically and just telling me about this. And it like scared me to the point because I'm like, am I confused, what it is? But now, of course, I've gained a relationship with the Lord and I've been studying the word for myself. And that person came up to me and was talking to me today, and I was like, no, I don't believe that. And they were like, oh, well, you could still come to the conference or whatever. And that was nice. I'm not going to be mean and nasty to someone because I don't know if that's someone that the Lord is wanting me to win or to be a representation of. And they weren't rude or nasty to me either. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about us being so confident in the word that we're mean to people. It's like, no, be mean to the devil, don't be mean to people. And so the Lord is teaching me that in this time you're going to have so much confusion that's happening, and that's why it's so important for us to talk to our children, but more importantly, get rooted in the word, because the enemy will try to come just like he did Jesus and try to tell Jesus something else, and Jesus said the word says this. And so we have to be very into your word in this time, because people are going to come to you with false doctrine, and if you don't know the word, you will follow behind false doctrine, and it will be only because of our lack of knowledge. It won't be because they were crafty or no, that's just how the enemy works. But it's just like we have to know how to combat that, and it's not going to be just with worldly knowledge. It's going to be, no, it's going to have to come from the spirit, which we will be able to get if we get into God's word. And so we allow the spirit to say what needs to be said in that time and allow the spirit to operate through us, because like I said, this is not for us to be mean to people. No, it's just saying, knowing who you are and saying, okay, I gotta get over here because these cars keep going through, and that's distracting me, and hopefully it's not distracting you. But yeah, so I was like, okay, Lord. And I was very nice to the person, and I was just like, no, I don't believe that. And now they come from this way. But I was like, no, I don't believe that. And I just went on by my business. I was nice, and she gave me a number and still talked, her name and number. But I'm just like, no, and I'm fully confident that that's not true. So I don't have to go home and think about, well, what about this? What about this? Do I rechange my whole way I live my life because someone came up to me and telling me about God the Mother? And it's just like, don't get persuaded, because it's going to be a lot, and the Lord talks about that. It's going to be a lot of people that's coming up at the end of time and is going to say that he is the Christ. My pastor talks about this all the time. It's like, it's going to, like, they're not trying to say that God isn't God, but they're saying other stuff that basically will have you more in a confused state. So if you don't know who God is to you, you will get wrapped up in that. So we have to be very careful and very intentional with our Christian life and the way that we're taking our relationship with the Lord. So I hope this is this kind of quick. I'm sorry, I gotta go. But thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, sácame que quieres ver en otros. Until next time. Bye.